Hello everyone, welcome back for the first time since August to Motemancer. I did 30-something videos of this, back in the summer. And, if you haven't seen any of those, you don't know anything about what Motemancer is, hey, there's a big backlog for you to watch. But broadly, it's a newish indie factory automation game themed around magic instead of industry / sci-fi. I really like it. I stopped playing when I got... Well, here, we'll hit a new game here. I'm playing again because a bunch of new stuff has been added since last time I played, and some of it I would be interested in playing around with, I guess. I don't anticipate this being another 30 video series, but I guess we'll see. My overall goal is to just try out some of the new stuff. And so I guess we'll talk about what the new stuff is. And this screen is a lot of it. Previously, you were required to start on the life plane, although you could download a modified save file that started you anywhere. And I briefly tried starting on air off camera, and it was miserable. So there are 6 elemental planes, and this is kind of the core interesting part of Motemancer, is that each of the planes has different tools and different problems to different ways to solve your problems. Factorio kind of has that with the whole Space Age thing, although I didn't play Space Age. But what I like about Motemancer is that it's not strictly additive, right? There's you can't use any tools you learned on life when you're on Shadow, for example. And it's hard to use them when you're on air or fire. All the time, you're always solving new problems. You don't just copy-paste your 24 smelter line again every time you want a new mine, because you've got some new tool you didn't have last time, and I really like that. So what I want to try... So that's one new thing, is you can choose where to start, and it indicates down here what the difficulty levels of these is. It says apprentice for all of them. I'm not totally... I guess, it indicates what things will be easier or harder. Like if you start on Earth, your logistics are harder, right? Fair enough. But then there's also these new things called foundations, which are kind of like... in the roguelike world, you might call these conducts. Very old term. But they're modifiers, right? Things that change the game's rules in ways to make the playthrough different than your last one. So there's a couple of foundations that I want to try out. In particular, I thought Elementalist would be fun. I'm sure, I'm not an especially... I'm an okay player. I'm not one of these guys who's going to rush the end of the game and do everything super efficiently, or even really be doing anything sensible at any given time. And so Elementalist is about the hardest thing that I want to do. But all it does is take away 2 buildings from you that you could use. You just don't have access to them for the whole game. The problem is they're very important buildings. You aren't allowed to use salt logistic structures. So those are the... Salt structures are the ones that don't make use of any of the 6 elements and are therefore available everywhere. Simple grippers and shifting slabs, which are kind of basic inserters and conveyor belts. And so you're going to have to rely on the logistical tools that are available to you from the elements. And it's a little bit tempting to me to start on Earth, but I just can't bear that kind of misery. Because, Earth means... Okay, we're going to spend a while on this screen, I guess. We're not going to get to gameplay for a while, because I want to tell you why I'm doing all this stuff. Earth provides great grippers, and it provides chests. Those are its logistical things. Life and fire both just provide power. They don't really provide any logistics. So if you want to do Earth without salt logistics, how are you moving things from place to place? You only have grippers and chests to do it with. And I really never used chests for anything interesting in my main playthrough. They just stored objects. But it's been made clear to me by listening to people talk on the Discord that, you can use chests. Some of Earth's chests are very long. And, you can chain chests with grippers between them, and they act as kind of a pseudo slab to move stuff around. And so I'm kind of interested in the idea of forcing myself to use that by starting on Earth and then taking away my slabs. I think that's kind of too miserable, and there's another good thing that I could do instead, which is I want to start on water. In my first playthrough, I went all the way from Earth clockwise around to air, and air is where I quit for two reasons. One, I decided, Shadow was like so easy. Wouldn't it be fun to go to air and not bring a bunch of powerful tools with me and just like bootstrap, but with like the new technologies I'd unlocked, and it was horrible. I hated air's power distribution, and I didn't have access to any others. And the other was the performance of the game got pretty bad. I assume because I just had like a lot of stuff scattered around all the other planes, but it just became unpleasant to play for two reasons, and so I stopped. So I never got to water, and so I think it would be kind of fun to start on water today. With Elementalist, I won't have access to simple grippers, so the only grippers I'll have are the ones from air, which seems cool, an interesting challenge. And if I ever leave the water plane, then I can maybe get access to Earth's grippers. But I think air has a fine suite of tools. The other benefit of Elementalist is you start with all the elemental researches unlocked, so you don't have a totally like salt stage where you're learning how to do anything with the most basic tools. But I imagine the beginning of the game will still be miserable as I try to bootstrap my way up to having enough elemental resources to build the elemental stuff without having salt tools to help me automate that. But it seems fun. So I want to start on water with Elementalist, and then the question is, what else do I do? I think I want prism portals, which just like makes it easier to move between planes. I've already been to every plane but water. I'm not interested in being trapped on water for a million years just because. If I feel like moving planes, I'd like to be able to do so, and prism portals I think makes it pretty easy. Instead of having to research all the way to keystones, you can unlock portals just with prisms. So that's certainly making the game a lot easier. All this other stuff I don't especially want. This all makes things harder in various ways. I'm already making it hard enough with Elementalist. These are kind of cool, like, tweaks. Like, Fling could be fun, but I don't want to mess with multiple things at once. I do think I want to try Nascent Entropy. There are rifts on the starting plane. My experience before was that rifts on the first plane generally are not a big problem. Well, of course, on the first plane you didn't get them at all. But the first plane that you move to and you get rifts, like, the rifts aren't really a problem. They don't cover your mote fields or whatever. You just have to not build two nearby. And so I see this entropy as a resource, right, to let you get access to the entropy structure, entropy research tree, which is another thing that they didn't have last time I was playing. So I'd like to get that sooner rather than later. I did play around a little bit with entropy off camera in between my last playthrough and this one. And it has some cool tools, but I haven't played with most of them, so I'd like more of it. And I think that's the deal. So water, prism portals, nascent entropy, Elementalist. And like this stuff is hot off the presses. This is the experimental build. I could not have played this build yesterday. Like these features were at least one of these features was just added yesterday or this morning or something. So if you go download Motemancer from the store and don't opt into any experimentals, you can't do this. But if you turn on the experimental, you can. So all that said, how long is this dang preamble? 9 minutes, not too bad. Let's get started. That is so loud. But I checked the volume levels and everything else, I should have warned you, everything else seemed fine. Oh, also, I tried to play this yesterday, but there was a performance bug that made it quite unpleasant. I reported it, it was fixed, so great. Thanks for the fast response time. And here's our world. This is the Great Portal. Oh, does the tooltip update it, I wonder? Oh, no. Of course, the Great Portal is just normal. My foundations just affect other portals. Can we see any of those here? Or are they too far away? I don't see any other portals. I wanted to check if the tooltip is updated to say that you need prisms. But, okay. I mean, there's not one within my initial... Which is surprising, because I started a couple of games while I was looking into that performance issue. And all of them... Oh, there's a portal. I see. Okay. I didn't notice it because it was a... I don't know, because I'm not good at having eyes, I guess. The map is new, too. We didn't have the map last time I played. Oh, and you can even, like, say, I want to look at the map, like, look at what is on life at the location I am. Okay, that's cool. So anyway, this must be to air. Use keystones, haha, I got them. This hasn't been updated. Okay, so interestingly, the icon here, this is prisms. That's correct for the foundation. The text says keystones, but it should say prisms. Okay, interesting. So I believe Prism Portals wasn't working yesterday, Elementalist wasn't working yesterday, and they're both working now. And last time I played, the portals spawned much further away from the Great Portal. I know moving them closer is one of the changes that was made. Okay, so what do we want to do now? What do we want to do first? Also, why is it saying there are motes of water in the water when there clearly are not? That's not possible? I don't really understand that. There aren't even any, like, down there. Huh. Okay, well... What's the most important thing to... Okay, let's look at the research tree. Ah! It's all revealed. This is so nice. I know... So now I can see what I'm aiming for. Like, what are the new things? I don't know all of them. Before, though, like, it locked... If you, like, hadn't gotten to the Adept research, it hid what was behind it so you couldn't see... to avoid overloading you. Even if you had skipped tutorial, it did that. I don't know. So, I think, like, Whirling Grippers I already have. Great. Oh, it starts with all the salt stuff unlocked for Elementalist too. That's nice. I was worried that I would have to work hard to build Radiant Flares, but it looks like I get that already. We have Mana Cultivators and Mana Roots. Okay, yeah. And we have, well, there's no earth around to build things out of, but if there were, we could build earth grippers. And we have streamways, right? Yes. Okay. So what do we want next? I mean... Oh yeah, there's like a bunch of new spells, right? Zephyr Shift would be nice. The air grippers kind of are stupid when they're only one directional. What is all this? Oh, filter grippers? Yeah, okay. Torrential streamways are very fast streams, I think. Oh, even the Enduring Research is in. This was in the latest patch notes. I didn't know this was in for today. So these are the kind of infinite researches. I guess there's one behind every hybrid that you can research, I believe, multiple times, although I'm not totally sure how that works. Maybe. Seems kind of crazy to have movement speed plus 10% infinite times. You could go so fast. But I know one thing is that if you like finish the game and then start a new game, like you can do kind of New Game Plus where you keep your Enduring Researches so that the beginning bootstrapping is not as painful. I mean, I guess really what I need is... just to automate all the stuff that I have access to at the moment. I think power is the lowest priority, because early in the game, mana flares are not... are good enough. Whereas, you know, if you have power but no buildings, it doesn't really help. So I think I want to get just like, I don't know, automated production of elemental stuff, I guess. I guess maybe the main thing is just making the elements themselves, right? So here's, if I have water and air, where's the nearest life? Hello? Over here. Okay. Ah, there's also some up there. That's a nice little triangle. Alright, so let's... I still hate these doodads. There's one of the things added since the last time I played is there are more spells that are capable of clearing doodads quickly and easily once you unlock them. I find it so hard to see them when they're on top of moat fields, let alone in entropy. Okay, so that's 1,000,000 water. Let's just make some salt stuff here. I'm so used to, like, at the beginning of the game, because I've done a couple of, like, restarts off camera that never got very far. Just, like, churning out a bunch of salt-based things. But I guess I need elements, too. I can't turn all of this into salt. Then I gotta come over here for... This must be air, yeah. To get the ether to make anything. So I need, like, an elemental... binder? Is that what they were called? Well, they were called binders. I think they were elemental binders. But I'll also need some ether here. So salt and ether are kind of like the basic building blocks of salt-based structures. 3 of the elements can be turned into salt, and the other 3 can be turned into ether. And those are the basic building blocks of almost everything you make. But everything except for the salt structures has 1 or sometimes 2 elemental components to it as well. Okay, so we're harvesting motes of life from, or little life doodads here? From this? Okay. Alright, that's enough stuff. Let's make... I mean, I could make some collectors, I guess? I guess I'm going to need those before long, eh? And a handful of binders. Oh, I can actually... That's right. You don't need salt logistics to run grindstones, do you? Because you can just have the collector's output directly into grindstones. That's a nice help. Okay, so the very, very early game is still kind of the same, it seems. Let's see, how did I used to do this? I know there's a more efficient approach, or a more better layout to have like 4 of these or 6 of these work together well. But I think I just prefer to optimize for number of mana flares. How do I... So grindstones here. Actually, wait, collectors here. Then grindstones. Then binders. Okay. So if I chuck a grindstone in here... Oh, I already have big mana flares. That's true. I don't even have to be quite this compact, do I? So now we're grinding up some ether autonomously. This mana flare will eventually run out of power. It's kind of a manually fed power source. We eventually want to transition to life power, which hopefully shouldn't take too long. But I need to get basic... any amount of automation of the basic things. Yeah, I think I should have put things in a better place, I guess. But I think... I guess this is still fine, isn't it? And that's only one. Okay, maybe this is not as bad a layout as I thought it was. Okay, so that's some ether production going. Let's get some more... Yeah, I know. Let's get some salt production going. I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. Whoops, I didn't mean to delete both of those. I definitely don't have this like layout memorized. Something like there, and there. Then I can put a grindstone here. And a mana flare here works. I guess? It doesn't seem as elegant as what I did on the other side. But, I mean, I suppose it works. It looks like I could even fit another pair pretty comfortably, right? Where are my grindstones? Hello? They're in here somewhere. There they are. Well, I couldn't really because they wouldn't all be in range of this one mana flare. Okay. So this is a decent amount of salt production. Now, you are allowed to place simple chests, I believe, right? Yes. So those are a salt-based logistics structure in some sense, but not outlawed by the Elementalist Conduct Foundation. Oh, there's entropy. I forgot. Hello. Yes, I am mining here. You're right. Good point. Okay, that's fine. Probably. I don't know which mode field. That must be from this mode field, right? But then where's the one from this mode field? Why haven't I seen it yet? I don't know. So I want to get elemental binding going. The thing about that is that to bind an element, you need ground up bits from an element of a different parity. So water produces salt, and so to bind water, you need ether. So you need at least two different elements to start binding, and we don't have slabs. I can't make those. So I at least for the start, it's going to have to be a bit manual. Let's make a binder here. Being fed by a couple grinders, I guess. Not grinders, collectors. And also fed by, I suppose, a chest. Now, hang on, it would be better if this were here. Because then I can squeeze in a gripper. Now, how come you haven't... I started with this researched, and normally when you research something, you get one or two copies of everything it allows you to build. How come you haven't given me a starting gripper? That's my complaint. Okay, whatever. I'll have to feed this first batch by hand, I guess. So put in some of my one ether. Okay, let's make some more. Okay. Now we're getting out elemental air, and so the idea is I want a chest here. I guess it doesn't really matter where. With... Why can't I build any of these? Do I not have... The ether's all gone? 7. Oh, this is water. That's why, of course. I'm going to need the same setup over here. To make air. And hand feed it some salt. Make a couple basic grippers. Now I can build my first whirling gripper, the air gripper. What is it we're making? A bunch more salt? Oh, because I dumped all my salt in here. Sure. Okay. Hello? How do I... Okay, like that. Well, maybe I'll go grab some more salt, since apparently I need... Okay, there's the rift for the air moat field, it would seem. Great. I have plenty of salt. Kind of annoying that I'm building all this. Yeah, let's maybe cancel 5 of those and this. Because I can... Now that I've picked up all that stuff, I can build... these a little bit more conveniently without having to make the intermediate salt. Okay, here we go. A bunch of grippers. So now this... Okay, how are the grippers... before you gain the ability to flip them, they look like this, eh? Like that then, I guess. Here's your chest. Take all, take 50, take 100 salt. I'm gonna need more in a minute, but fine. And then I can throw another gripper. No, I can't. I don't have range. I'll need another flare. Not a big deal, but it would be nice if I didn't, you know? Like this, maybe. Need more chests. And of course it's making salt again. Okay. So now we have, you know, sort of automated. I mean, right? Like it'll fall apart if I don't visit every so often. But I know a lot of people like that. I don't know. That's some sort of joke about needy relatives, but I don't think it's quite there. I'll have to go back and forth occasionally to drop off ether here. Speaking of, we're out already. Oh no, I haven't even set this up yet because I didn't have grippers. Okay, so get this stuff off of here. Grippers. Yeah, see, this doesn't... The way I place the mana flare, I can't... I can't actually place something... Well, I guess I could. There's no problem taking in from here. It just doesn't do anything. Okay, put in like 150 ether. What do I want? I guess I can't... Yeah, you could do that, right? Okay. So the air grippers are a little bit awkward, right? They don't go in a straight line the way that you're used to with Factorio's grippers or with the simple grippers in Motemancer. Everything but air grippers generally go in a straight line. Air's kind of quirk is this... Well, the quirk for its grippers anyway, is that they do this kind of... What is this? 120 degree thing, I guess? Yeah. Okay. So, great. Okay, let me tell you also, I really should just do this, because then I can actually make use of the cool... Nope, I can't. Come on, grab from both of them at once, you jerk! Okay. Well, here. Okay, I do want chests on my hotbar, let's say here. Fine. Oh, I thought this was next to a mana flare. This is not a mana flare. It's just a similar color. Yeah, I guess I need a second flare here. Kind of annoying. Okay. So, you know, it's baby's first automation, but it's something. To get me off the ground, you need what? Salt, right? Here. And then let's set up putting this into chests so it doesn't stop when it gets to 50. Which I guess means just do the whole thing over again for no reason, apparently. So give me like grindstone, gripper, grindstone, chest, and then lay some collectors around this. No, that's actually the wrong place to put a flare, isn't it? Well, the way I've laid it out, I need 3. Don't I? No, 1 here actually reaches like everything, except you. Okay. Alright, so our throughput is not great. It requires a lot of scurrying back and forth like an idiot. But we have a handful of grippers, and I believe if I wanted, I could make some streamways now, right? Yeah. Well, first of all, let's just make a shitload of these. You need so many of these. Oh, it's grinding up salt. Yeah, because I keep dumping all my salt in chests. I don't have any. Okay. I have machines for this. There. Okay, so do we want to go, like, get life stuff going right away? I don't think so. I think I want a decent number of streamways so I can connect this all up and make it a little bit more automatic. I can build 50 of them, which is not really all that many with just the materials I have on hand. Did I pick you up? I did, right? Yeah. I don't feel any pressing need to get deltas. It's kind of weird that for air, the first thing you get is just the intermediate ingredient. You don't get anything you can do anything with. But I guess you also then get Zephyr Shift and Air Adept. So, yeah, it seems like Prism Portals should make it very easy to visit a new plane. You can literally just automate prisms and the elemental. I think on every... Yeah, for every element, all it takes to get here is just prisms and the element. So we should be able to move freely between planes pretty soon if we want. Okay, good to know. I'm not really there yet. Biorhythm would not be unwelcome. It's one of the few technologies I could unlock that actually gives me quality of life without me having to do anything. Just walk around with the spell on all the time. And then I don't have... Like, anything else if I unlock, yeah, it gives me new buildings, but then I have to, like, automate and make and place those buildings. Biorhythm just makes your life easier for free. None of the stuff over there looks that important. I mean, whirling grippers would be fun, or... What are they? These are whirling. What are the other? Whipping grippers. Where are they? Like a mile away. Hello? You, I guess? No? No? Where's all... Here it is. Whipping gripper. Okay. So, I mean, I want to research some stuff, but I want to automate streamways and grippers more than anything else. Which means automating prisms. Grippers require pedestal, which requires prisms. Yeah. And streamways require... Oh! They changed the name. I've been calling them slabs. They're not slabs anymore. They're saltways. I like that name. They used to be called shifting slabs, and I didn't like the name very much. Saltway's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, but I guess I should point out, you can make these, but I can't place them. This is the elementalist constraint. I can't put down these conveyor belts. They're still used as intermediate ingredients, so you can and indeed must make them, but you can't place them. My inventory is full. Okay, I mean, good problems to have, I guess. It is somewhat soothing to just walk back and forth and babysit this stuff, even though you're not really doing anything. Yeah, I guess I'll just make a bunch of grippers and a bunch of streamways and then figure out how to automate it all. And there you go. My inventory's not full anymore. Problem solved. So we could make some life, but right now it doesn't seem that important. What I want is just, I think, an automated supply of salt prisms, I guess. And a salt prism is just salt and ether, right? It's nothing fancy. Getting closer to having my inventory full again. Oh no, we're making a bunch of salt. Whatever, it's fine. All that salt was earmarked for air anyway, I'll claim, post-hoc. So what that means is I want another kind of automated... Well, it doesn't have to be another one, it could be the same. I could just pull out this. I could have this be How fast do you move 2 items per 2 seconds? Is that how it works? Yeah. Okay. And that's... I still can't... It's 1 per second per arm, right? 1 alligator, 2 alligator. Yeah. So, okay. There's 1 every 2 seconds per arm, which is 2 every 2 seconds for the whole thing. So this moves 1 per second, which is not a huge amount. But it's also not nothing. So if I took... Oh, I want this inverted, but I don't have the technology yet, huh? Okay, so it actually should... Okay, here's what we'll do. I'll move the chest to here. Do I have any streamways yet? I have a couple. Okay. And so now these are unloading onto a streamway, and then it's being diverted onto a chest, which means the chest is going to take priority, which kind of is stupid, but okay, whatever. The excess, once the chest is full, will get funneled out here. I can barely hear the streamways being placed. They used to be much louder. I think. Now, the bottleneck in this setup is that I only have 1 binder, and they're very slow. But that's okay. We're just making small setups for the hand crafting phase of everything before I get stuff really automated. So I'm going to want a similar setup here. Not for you, but for you. Salt. Okay. So break that down. Put streamways on my belt, my bar, whatever. Put the chest back here. And we have a similar setup. Do you know, I guess I was trying to make sure that I was using all parts of the gripper. But if I don't want the chest prioritized, there's an easy answer, right? Only let one of the arms reach. If I do something like this... Now, this gripper is dumping items onto the belt, the streamway, faster than this one can take them off, and so... this gets filled up faster. It's not like actually good, because it means once this gets backed up, we will be wasting some of the throughput of this gripper to fill this up. I don't know. It's fine. I don't want the whole thing... Well, I guess we'll see. So if I just... I need so many streamways, huh? These slabs are so expensive. I mean, they're not that expensive, but when you're handcrafting all of it, before you get any automation going, it sure feels like a lot. But you can see, we built down here, like... I finally have things joining up. Yeah, okay, could you just... Here, it's full. Please stop. Okay, thank you. Give me my ether. So if I take... It's a grindstone, right? That makes these? Yes. And, I mean, we're only putting in 1 per second, and grindstones run at 1 per 2 seconds. So really, like, 1 grindstone is enough to use half of this ether and half of this salt. I could do 2, but I'm going to want some of the ether and salt left over. I don't know. I guess I'm not really at a fully automated stage yet, so I guess... I don't really have to worry about fully saturating, you know, the number of grindstones I have or whatever. I don't even have deltas yet. How miserable. Here? Oh, right. It's on the wrong side because of the power. Like that, I guess. So this is, you know, a cute little trick for air grippers, right? You can make use of the 2 inputs to pull 2 different... The 2 arms to pull 2 different inputs into the same structure. Kind of nice. I need so many more streamways. What do I need more of? Water, I hope? Good. Which is up here. Should be a big pile of it by now. Yep. Okay. And as I recall, slabs, which are not slabs anymore, they're saltways, they want prisms and salt. Is that correct? Yes. So... and they're made in a tinker's table. I guess I should put those here. I don't know, like that. So if I then take... not placed very well. Let's start with the gripper. That would simplify things, wouldn't it? Because now I can do this. And it turns out this was a better place for the mana flare after all. See ya. Don't need that one. Need more chests. What do I still... I just need 1,000,000 slabs. Okay, well, I'm in the middle of automating them, so give me a break. Actually, is there... There's not a way to get a single gripper to use both of its input arms on this until we learn to reverse grippers. Because this thing doesn't have any nooks. It's convex. So I believe this is actually... well... oh, good. We're starting to be limited by salt, so the efficiency of this little setup is now immaterial. I can stop worrying about it. I don't think this is right. I think I need... if I wanted to have this be a balanced sub-factory, I would need more grippers pulling from here. But there's a million other problems with the setup, so I just don't have to worry about that one. Great. But getting saltways automated, see, I'm not calling them slabs anymore, I'm getting the hang of it, is a big step forward. And you may not have noticed, but I was intentionally doing this, so now I don't need to chest feed this stuff anymore. Yeah, and suddenly the abysmal amount of salt I'm outputting is becoming the limiting factor. Okay, can we scale that up any without too much work, I would hope? Probably, although it's not very well placed. Okay, so let's grab another couple collectors, and I don't even have underground streamways yet. Oh, I don't need this chest anymore, do I? Because I'm shipping all the salt. Okay, great. So just like cut that off. And let's try to build a handful more collectors and things and grindstones and feed them here. Need more of this. Just barely on the edge of the entropy, but not actually being affected by it. Yeah, grindstones produce 1 per second, so the gripper is keeping up. Okay, that much at least I remember. So we're now making, what? Is this 4 salt per second? Can't be that much. No, it's 2 salt per second. Because each of these... Oh no, the grippers are way better than the grindstones? How do I remember? Let's see. These make 1 every 4 seconds, right? Yeah. And these make 1 every 2 seconds. Let me look at the recipe. Yeah. So actually, a single gripper... is twice as fast as these grindstones need. But there's no way you can have a gripper with 4 arms, so it doesn't really matter. This is getting output from these as efficiently as you could. Okay. So we're only making 2 salt per second, which is enough for 2 salt ways per second? That's not too bad. Okay, that's a lot. That's not that much water, actually. I need to do the inverse of what I did over here. Pipe the ether line up that way. And this is all very messy stuff, of course. Oh, give me all the slabs. The salt ways. Yes, yes, yes. I will say it was nice that slabs was such a short word. Right, salt ways you have to have multiple syllables for. You can't really abbreviate it in any obvious way. Shifting slabs was longer, but had a very obvious abbreviation. Anyway, this is not, like, the cleanest build. Right? Very spaghetti. But I feel like that's the joy of the early game, right? The spaghetti is mandatory. Right? What else are you supposed to do? Okay, what's your problem, bro? I have replaced the wrong chest, is the problem. Okay. So now we have salt and ether in joyous commerce, I guess. And we're making slabs. Saltways. Now, the next thing would be I can't actually use these. They're not good for anything. So maybe... I mean, they are good for something, which is that I can make streamways with them. But in terms of carrying them around, there's not much purpose. Except that right now, the only way I can make streamways is by hand. I'd like to have them automated. And at that point, I won't need this chest anymore. So let's have my first elemental production building. Nope. Not a Zephyr Mill. Why don't you want to build a water thing? I don't have enough water. Oh, I just turned it on to streamways, of course. Yes, that's true. Great. Give me a Streamweaver, please. And some more salt prisms. Can always use more salt prisms. Boy, filling this buffer up takes a lot of salt prisms. That's why this didn't fill up, I guess. Plus, I mean, my throughput is not great, obviously. Okay. And I guess I'll build another couple Tinker's tables while we wait. Okay, here's my Streamweaver. Oh, they're so big. Fine. So let's do this. It's not powered. We'll get to you in a minute, big baby. I'm imagining this. And then you. But I need another chest here. Oh, I spent all of my water, of course, manually building streamways. Okay, that's fine. This is all growing pains of getting the automation going. It's not... Okay, are we doing it? Are we making streamways? We are making streamways, and we are putting them in a chest. All right. Now, grippers are going to be much more work. Mainly because grippers require pedestals, which is a pain. To build the whirling gripper is simple. You just need air and a gripper. But to build a gripper is more complicated than a slab, because you don't just need, like, prisms and salt. You need ether and pedestals. And pedestals are salt and salt, or prisms and salt. So we're going to need undergrounds at some point here. It's kind of far away. But they're on the path to Salt Adept, in that it's just Salt Prism and Elemental Water, right? And I have Salt Prisms automated, albeit slowly, here. Although, because I lack undergrounds, I can't actually get to them. Okay. Very funny. This is finally filling up. Why? Something's wrong. Shouldn't they be going here? Ah! This is blocked because it's filled up on saltways, because I'm no longer putting saltways into a chest. Oh, I am putting saltways into a chest. But I messed it up. Okay, this, knock it off. I don't want to put saltways into a chest anymore, but I was. And now this is building up because we have enough saltways here and not enough water to make use of it all. Okay. Makes sense. Let me grab air while I'm here, I suppose. Inventory is full. All right, we'll throw away all these motes, you weirdo. What is this for? It is for... It is a mistake. I thought this gripper was going... It's a nonsense gripper. I just want to take these slabs and put them here. No, it's not a nonsense gripper. This is where the elemental water is supposed to go. Which is, I guess, here? There we go. This gripper is taking saltways and elemental water. Got it. And I somehow had something also like backward that was dumping... I was taking this elemental water. I had a gripper here that was taking this elemental water and putting it into the slab box that I don't need anymore. Okay. So if I wanted to make... pedestals. That's salt prisms and salt. Which is the same as slabs, right? Just at a different building. And it's more salt, but... yeah, same idea. Okay. I think I need underwater or undergrounds before I can start like figuring all that stuff out. So right here I have salt prisms. They're going into a chest. My elemental water is way over there. It doesn't cost that much to research this stuff. I can just do this by hand to get up to here. Yeah, it's like 150. So, fine. We will just set up, I assume it gave me, indeed, an altar and a couple pedestals. I still wish, when I mouse this, please just highlight where in my inventory the goddamn pedestals are. They're impossible to find. And likewise for everything else, of course. I don't have a specific complaint about pedestals. The other one goes... Is there no way to... Oh, there is a way to do this that is convenient with air grippers, but you have to be around a corner. I see. Oh, but I can't flip the grippers yet, so it doesn't work. Okay. Sure. Fine. Screw me, I guess. Well, and how much is it to get... I mean, there's not really anything... Oh, Zephyr Shift would be nice. Sure. Let's put Elemental Air first, I guess, because I happen to have a bunch of it lying around, because I'm not making so many of these as I am the Streamways. That's not right. It goes here. Ah, but then I would be... I can't actually do it at this location. Okay. It's fine. Put it over here. Let's try... can I make it use this? There'll be a mana flare here. Yeah, of course this is possible. Okay, basic air research underway. Automation level embarrassing, but serviceable. Let's build a couple more of these so I can get some water research going, I guess. Ah! I'm almost on empty. For that reason, it would be nice to get life research going so I could have Biorhythm handle this busy work for me. Where did my altars go? Here they are. It would be nice if they could somehow take from the elemental water thingy here, but since I'm hand feeding all of this for air, I don't think it's really that much worse to hand feed it for water. And without undergrounds, it's kind of difficult to do. So let's just put it down any old place. Here? I don't know. Oh, of course, because then... Give me more pedestals, please. I can actually reuse the salt prisms. Of course, of course, of course. Does this make any sense? No? How about that? That's fine. Chuck in the old elemental water, which I possess none of. Here we go. Oh, you're not powered. Don't be a baby. Just do it. Okay, we're learning about deltas, boys and girls. Research bars going up. Not super quickly, but that's fine. Oh, I've got streamways. We're almost playing the game. Now, I guess the next matter to discuss is that of life. Life's big questions, huh? It would be nice to get motes of life involved here so that I can have biorhythm. And then eventually actual automated power. Wait, this is more air? You tricked me. I moused over this and didn't look at what it said. The life is over here. But the closer life is up this way. Okay, I just forgot whether it was up or down. By the way, I didn't take any time to appreciate what the plane of water looks like. It's a beach. Kind of nice. Very... This sand is so dark. Like, it's so yellow. I think of sand as more pale. It feels rich. It's almost soil-like sand. Just kind of something that surprised me when I got here. But I did that yesterday while testing the experimental and finding out about the performance issue and the not quite yet implemented stuff I wanted to try, so I wasn't surprised by it on camera. The good thing is we don't really have to automate grinding this stuff up because we already have salt automated, and I mean, yes, our throughputs are woefully low. We can't like make much of anything. But just getting a little of everything is a big step forward. I don't know what these like sigils in the sand are. What is the meaning of this? Obviously, it has no gameplay impact, but like, what is it meant to mean thematically? I don't know. I'm just looking at the water at the moment. Are these little things like moving? They are, right? This is moving slightly to the east. Yeah, it is. Kind of nice. Motemancer is a beautiful game. You know, that's certainly an aspect that it has going for it, among many others. Okay, so we can just like plop down like 4 collectors to make 1 life per second, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there are reasons you might want a different number or whatever, but for starter level stuff, this is fine, I think. I think what's different is that the streamways now make a splish splash noise when you place them, and it's still quiet, but they used to make like a chunk chunk noise the same as when you put down a saltway. kind of cute, the new sound. This stuff's kind of in the way. Okay, so salt is exactly what we want, right? Yes, life makes ether, so it requires salt to bind. Every alchemist learns that in school. So I can just do like this, basically. These grippers move 1 item per second, which is more than I have, so that should be fine. Okay, then there's my elemental life. What have you run out of? You've all run out of salt prisms, of course. Fortunately, there's a big box of them right here. Here you go. I guess if I were really fancy, I could do that, could I not? Oh. This is not what I intended, but I guess it's kind of cute. I intended it to use the prisms, but it's also reusing the water from this pedestal. So we're researching water twice as fast. I meant to set this up as just like a life pedestal, but sure. I guess we can research if there's water lying around. I just want a new pedestal for you. I also think it would be, I mean, like, couldn't I just do this? And no, stop. Like this. Oh my gosh, I heard the research sound. It's the first time all game. Okay, so you were supposed to do air, right? So now this will do air or water research if it happens to get any. That's nice. This does only water. And it stopped because we have a new thing we have to click to acknowledge. Yes, I acknowledge that I possess streamway deltas. Thank you. And then a new thing. I guess down here actually is where I want the life, so it can be used. Either of these can do it. This is going to do a very. This is a very bad, like. It doesn't allow me to like customize and say, hey, prioritize this. But it does let me have a setup here that will churn through whatever items I have lying around and turn them into research at a slightly more reasonable pace than if I had 3 dedicated things. So, yeah. They're just kind of like vibing to decide what to research. They switched over to life from air for reasons. Who knows? Doesn't matter. This is the kind of setup that I was really loath to build in my on-camera playthrough. Because, I don't know, like, I have a... Like, I really want to have everything automated, and I dream of giant factories that I never have the skills to actually build. And stopgap solutions offend me. But, like, why? Good question. It's not that... This gets you a ton of progress for relatively little investment. And, you know, if you ever decide you've grown out of it, just tear it down. No big deal. Likewise, all this junk. So I need a bunch of water to keep making streamways from. Streamways are the thing that it is so easy to run out of because you need so many of them, right? Like I built like 4 collectors and no grippers and like 100 streamways to get the life motes down here, right? Okay, so this is a cute little research setup. Working on underground streams and mana bloom. I don't really care for mana bloom at the moment because I don't even have roots automated, and I don't have a source of power anyway. But I'm going this way because I want. Well, it's the only way you can go. But the thing that I want first is biorhythm in this direction. And all of these research altars are doing something. So I don't really need to like manage them any more than that. I guess I need to make sure we don't run out of prisms because we're making an embarrassing... Oops, no, don't take them out, put them in. We're making an embarrassingly small number of them. I remember reading somewhere, like it must have been in a Factorio... What do they call their things? Friday Facts or something? Friday something. I think it's Facts. That talked about, in the early game, the player being a very powerful logistics tool. Which is like, on the face of it, kind of obviously true, right? I can move items from over here to over here. Wow, nothing else I have is doing that in the early game. But I had never really thought about it, like, the player as... They probably said the engineer, because that's what it's called. They're not talking about me, but about this avatar of me. I don't know. Like it's a tool I don't like to use, even though it's clearly very powerful, compared to trying to set everything up so that it could run for years if I died. Like if I die, I don't really care what happens to my Motemancer factory, to be honest. Okay, so you've unlocked something that doesn't matter at all. Aerosil. It's Air's intermediate agreement. Ingredient. Why do I keep saying agreement? Ingredient, which goes into most of its high-powered objects. Like, I assume you need Aerosil to make whirling grippers, although I'm not sure. Zephyr Shift, that's the one we're looking for on Air. So it's now researching the 3 things I care about, I guess. Zephyr Shift to make my grippers more flexible. Biorhythm to ease the tedium of managing mana flares. And underground streams so I can route things around a little bit better. Okay, so what do we need now? I could start automating routes, I guess. Because I will eventually want to automate power. Or yeah, I guess automate power is one way to put it. Not just the production of power structures, but the powering of the structures I am using to produce other stuff. So that I don't have to manage the mana flares anymore. The thing is, until I have undergrounds... It's pretty hard to get access to these slabs these saltways a second time, right? Ooh, what are we out of? Is this air? No, this is life. Oops, here please, not just a pedestal. Yeah, I don't know why I never thought about 3 altars with prisms, the one shared element in the middle. I guess I was never usually doing basic research in 3 elements at once, because I explored deeper in one tree when I was like first getting accustomed to all the game systems. Like, oh, let's see what's going on over here in life and play with those new tools. But I don't know if it's because I'm back at the beginning of the game, but I know things, or if it's because of Elementalist. But like, yeah, I just want the basic salt, prism, and plus elemental research for all 3 things. And that's... It's really nice to have 3 elemental altars all being fed by 1 pedestal with salt prisms, I guess. Tell you what, though, I think we are probably done for the day. It's been like almost an hour and a half. And catch up with me next time. I'm having fun, even though I'm not using much of the new systems. I have worked with the elementalist constraint, and it hasn't felt too burdensome yet. It's annoying not to have... Well, I guess it has, because I don't even have undergrounds. If I weren't playing elementalist, I would have underground slabs. Saltways. Which would let me untangle these lines to start combining elements in different ways. But anyway, it hasn't felt like a humongous burden. And I'm playing around in the water plane, which I never visited before. So anyway, having a good time. Gonna come back for at least 1 more episode, but as I said, I don't plan for this to be a super duper long series. We'll see how much further I keep going. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.